Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have got another what I eat in a day video on bright line eating. So if you are interested in that, stay tuned. All right, so you have seen in a lot of my recent posts, as well as my last two what I eat in a day videos, that I have been losing weight through this program called Bright Line Eating. So today I've got a little bit of a different what I eat in a day on Bright Line Eating video for you. Let me explain why. So about a year ago, I did intermittent fasting, and I actually did a type of intermittent fasting called alternate day fasting, where I basically ended up doing a complete fast for one whole day and then a partial fast the next day. So I'd basically like skip breakfast and have like an 8-hour eating window on the days that I would eat, and then the following day I would have a complete fasting day. So it'd end up being like a 36 hour fast or so. And I lost a lot of weight that way. I found it very easy. I had a lot of energy. I felt really great on it. Yeah, so I really liked it. And then recently I've been doing Bright Line Eating, and I've also really been liking Bright Line Eating. Have found it very easy, very intuitive. So I really like both of those. So I decided I wanted to put both of those together. And there are a couple of Facebook groups for people who do intermittent fasting and Bright Line Eating. I haven't seen a whole lot of people that do alternate day fasting, type of intermittent fasting and Bright Line Eating. There's a couple, but not a whole lot. And so that's what I've been doing for just a couple of days now, not too long. So I haven't really had a chance yet to see a bunch of results, but I wanted to share with you at the beginning kind of how I'm starting out on it and what I'm going to be doing. So here is how that works. So on my fasting days, I start out with a big, huge, and actually here it is. So this is my water glass. It's a 4-cup, what is that, a quart jar, and a nice big thick straw so I can drink nice and fast. So I start off with one of these with a half a lemon squeezed into it. And I drink the whole thing before I have my morning cup of coffee on my fasting days to make sure that I'm nice and hydrated, because coffee dehydrates you, and I want to make sure that I'm hydrated on my fasting days. So I start off with that, and then I have my coffee. And then I basically make sure that I get 4 of those bare minimum on my fasting days. That's about a gallon of water. Now on my non-fasting days, instead of doing the Bright Line Eating weight loss food plan, I actually do the maintenance food plan. And that's to make sure that I'm getting enough calories, because I don't want to be getting basically half of weight loss calories, because that would be way too few calories. So the weight loss food plan on Bright Line Eating usually ends up being about 12 to 1300 calories. So if you basically have that, so over the course of 2 days, one day you're fasting, the next day you're eating weight loss, you're only getting about 600 calories over, each day, over 2 days, and that's not enough. So on the days that I'm not fasting, I'm doing the maintenance program. So let me show you what I ate for the maintenance food plan on the day that I'm not fasting. Okay, so I still start out with my lemon water. So I grab my nice big jar, and normally I have like a half of a lemon from the day before in my fridge in a jar, but today I didn't. So I cut a lemon in half and squeezed half of that into my jar, and then I'll take the other half and put it in a jar in my fridge. And then I get my cup of coffee, and I will have my big glass of water and my cup of coffee. And then, of course, my standard oatmeal and fruit, except for this time, I get 1.5 ounces of oatmeal because I'm doing the maintenance plan. And then my blueberries, which are frozen because as you've seen in my previous videos, they make it super easy. So I do my 2 ounces of blueberries, I add some water, and then I'm going to microwave that for 2 minutes because that's the perfect amount of time. And then again, some more frozen fruit. And I'm going to do 4 ounces of that because the maintenance program is still the 6 ounces of fruit. So 4 ounces of mixed fruit, and then the 2 ounces of blueberries is 6 ounces of fruit total. And I'm going to go ahead and microwave that for about a minute. And then to my oatmeal, I'm going to add some pecans. I do a 1/2 ounce of pecans, and then I'm going to do a 1/2 ounce of almond butter. Again, I prefer almond butter instead of peanut butter in my oatmeal. And then I'm going to add cinnamon, which I always do. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of soy milk in my oatmeal. And then I am going to do another 1/2 cup of soy milk into just a regular glass, and I'm going to drink that. And then that ends up being, let me do the math in my head really quick. That ends up being 1.5 of my 2 protein servings. So this is going to be the other 1/2 of my 2 protein servings. I'm going to do 4 ounces of homemade Greek yogurt. So that's going to be my other 1/2 of my 2 protein servings. And then there's that 1/2 cup of soy milk that I was talking about earlier. So that is my complete breakfast. So there's my cup of soy milk, my fruit and yogurt, and my oatmeal. Now for lunch, I did a rice and beans dish. I made this copycat chipotle black beans and brown rice in my Instant Pot. I will put a link in the description box down below. On the maintenance program, you get a grain at lunch. So that is 4 ounces of brown rice. And then I get 6 ounces of those chipotle black beans. So there they are. And then I also ended up chopping up some onions and bell peppers, and I roasted those in my oven with some salt and pepper and balsamic vinegar. And so I'm gonna do those as part of my 10 ounces of veggies. So there is the onions and peppers, and I'm gonna go ahead and put those on there. I think I ended up actually using maybe that whole bowl, I can't remember. And then I did some diced up fresh tomatoes, and I also did some fresh bell peppers. So I did cooked bell peppers and fresh bell peppers. And then I had actually meant to do some corn on here too, but I totally forgot. So if you have some corn, you can put that on there too. It'd be really good. And so there's my 10 ounces. And then for my fat serving, I actually get these frozen diced avocado from my grocery store, and they're really good fresh. So they taste just fine once you thaw them. And I actually just let mine thaw from the warmth of the rice and beans. So I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 ounces of the frozen avocado on there. And then what I did was I actually took off a couple of the avocado pieces back off of there, and I threw them in my microwave and thawed them a little bit. And then I mashed them up, and I mixed them up with some water, lime juice, some cilantro, salt, and some chili powder. And I ended up making like a bit of this like chunky dressing, and kind of putting it all over the rice and beans dish. That way the flavors could kind of like spread out through everything. That way everything got a little bit of the flavor. So that ended up being really delicious. Everything got a little bit of like the lime juice, the chili powder, the cilantro, and then of course I put more of the cilantro on all of it because I am a big fan of cilantro. So that was the rice and beans dish. And then I also get some fruit with lunch. So I diced up a mango, and it wasn't quite 6 ounces. So I have a bag of frozen blueberries, as you remember from breakfast. So I topped off that mango with some blueberries, and that's actually, the bag is mixed fruit, but all that's left in there is blueberries. So topped off those mangoes with some blueberries, and that is my lunch for the day. That rice and beans dish and the mangoes and blueberries. All right, so now on to dinner. I did a spaghetti and veggie meatball night. This is some spaghetti squash, and if you haven't tried it, you totally should. It is delicious. And then I also steamed some broccoli. So for my 10 ounces of veggies, I'm actually gonna split that between this spaghetti squash, my steamed broccoli, and then part of it is also going to be the marinara sauce. And I'm also gonna do 2 extra ounces of marinara sauce as a condiment. So there is my marinara sauce. You can see inside the marinara sauce, there's also the meatballs, and I've already measured those out. I actually only get 2 ounces of those because the main ingredient is pecans. And so pecans as a protein, you only get 2 ounces. I'm going to do a review on those. They're the Neat brand, and I got them on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description box down below. And then as my fat serving, I'm doing a split half an ounce between this cashew Parmesan cheese and then a little bit of butter for this garlic toast that I'm doing on Ezekiel bread. You'll see that in a minute. And then I'm spritzing just a little bit, so it doesn't even weigh anything. A little bit of oil on my broccoli here so that some of the Parmesan cheese will stick to it. So Parmesan cheese on my broccoli, on my spaghetti and meatballs, and then I'm closing my scale because, like I said, I already pre-weighed the meatballs there. So just putting the pecan meatballs on top there. And then for my garlic quote-unquote bread, I just put a little bit of butter on there that I had already measured, some minced garlic, and then broiled it in my oven. And that is dinner. All right, so that is what I had for the day on the maintenance plan of Brightline eating as a vegan. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, click that little red subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I'll see you next time. What I eat in a day videos. Can't with the talking and the words today. Okay, start again.